Really, it comes down to 4 different options for replacement. One is the fiber optic network with an IP flex solution for voice, a hosted VoIP option or a cloud-based phone solution, analog transmit adapters or POTS in a box services, or an analog wholesale option. My lead option that I talk to about with customers is fiber optics with an IP flex solution. This solution is a physical infrastructure change that typically providers are paying to get brought out to facilities. It is a low IT understanding and requires no phone system replacement. Now, the drawback of it is that it can be a more costly solution out there, but when I recommend it to customers, it's typically less expensive than what you're paying for now for phone service. My next option that I go with is a hosted VoIP solution. This is a voice-only solution, but it is very cost-effective. It typically runs in the range of $20 to $40 per seat, depending on which provider you go with and the term length that you go with it. Now, there are a bunch of different options out there for voice or hosted VoIP solutions. Nextiva, RingCentral, Office at Hand, Comcast, Spectrum, a bunch out there. And I'm not going to get into the pros and cons of each of them, but the main thing to make any of those work is that you have to have a good internet connection. What I mean by good is that it has to have enough bandwidth to be able to support all your applications that you're running and your voice traffic. Your voice traffic is not prioritized with hosted VoIP options, meaning it doesn't have a class of service. Compare that to the fiber optic service. That does have a class of service, which means that it guarantees that there's 3, 4, maybe 5 megabytes of internet that is guaranteed to support those lines so that you don't have any service interruptions or lag or anything like that with it. The other thing about hosted VoIP that's a positive is that it gives a voice redundancy option. So you can have your desktop phone in front of you, or if you're on the go, you can download an app on your phone and be able to take calls there. It's a nice way to have a redundancy option with it. It requires a moderate IT understanding, and if you're going from analog to digital, it's going to require new equipment as well. My next option that I recommend is the analog wholesale option. There are some places where fiber is just not an option and your lines are being used for maintenance, so it just requires it to stay on analog right now. This is a good option because providers are charging customers around $300 per line when you're out of term rates on it. And instead of doing the circus of annual renewals of it, you can put it on a wholesale option, get it locked down on a good rate for the next 3 years until the analog network is completely shut down. The final option that I recommend, it's kind of my last case option, my last recommendation, is the POTS in a box or the analog transmit adapter. I just don't think it's fully cooked yet. I've tried to install them and I've just run into issues over and over again, which create bigger headaches for me and bigger headaches for the customer. So I just don't think it's there yet. When it is, it's going to be a very good option. It's very cost effective, has a cellular backup or cellular that you can use as your primary with it, and has a battery backup with it to ensure that your emergency services stay up in case of emergency. The one drawback of it, besides that I don't think it's fully cooked yet, is that it requires a major IT understanding and is a very detailed implementation setting right now.